Have you ever sat there and asked yourself, gee, self, I'm not sure which Pokemon I want to use in this party I'm making? Well, that's where I come in. I'm gonna choose your Pokemon. Today, we'll be talking about the Fire Pokemon. That's right, the 4 Fire Pokemon of the 4 generations. First, let's get started with Charizard. Charizard has earned a very special place in the hearts of any child or man-child who's played any of the Pokemon games. I mean, look at him. He's a freaking fire dragon. He's got horns. He's got wings. He's got little claws on his arms. He's got a tail, which is on fire. Now, Charizard is a fire-flying Pokemon, which brings with it some advantages and disadvantages over a normal fire Pokemon. First of all, it avoids ground attacks. That ever-present earthquake is not going to affect him at all. Of course, things like rock attacks and electric attacks are really going to hurt, but the worst thing to happen to Charizard, though, would have been Stealth Rock. With that one move, whenever Charizard comes in, his health is halved. That's not good. Now, Charizard is a very fast Pokemon. That's one of its better stats. It also has a very good special attack. A lot of people make him special sweepers. Now, one tricky thing some people do is to make him a belly drum Pokemon. He uses belly drum, which halves his HP, but boosts his attack way up through the window. A lot of people will make him get to a certain point with his HP, and it'll give him a salad berry to hold. This boosts his speed. So not only is he really strong and really fast, he also has a special ability, which, when his HP is down that far, a third or less, it's going to boost his attack up the window as well. They give him Fire Punch, and away you go. He's got a lot of other options, though, that are very interesting to see. He's very cool and very different. Now, the first thing you'll notice about Typhlosion is that he has the exact same stats as Charizard. They're exactly the same. Of course, he's simply a fire Pokemon, so it's like they were redoing Charizard, but somewhere along the line they made him a badger. He doesn't have nearly the move pool that Charizard has, but he does have one thing that none of the other fire starters do have, and that is the move Overheat. It's a very strong fire attack that only 4 or 5 fire Pokemon get, and none of the other Pokemon on this list right here. So it's kind of a cool thing to have. Now, a lot of people use Typhlosion pretty much as a special attacker. That's kind of what he's best at. And with the move pool that he's had, that's kind of the only thing he really needs to do. He's kind of a cool Pokemon, though. Sleek, he's different from the Silver and Gold generation, and some people think that's the top of the food chain as it comes to the Pokemon world. Blaziken is a firefighting Pokemon, which is an interesting combination, and was definitely a good combination to use in the games of Ruby and Sapphire. Now, his attack stat is phenomenal. At 120, it's the highest attack stat of any of the starters. It's also the second highest attack stat of the fire Pokemon, not counting legendaries. Only Flareon outdoes him there. His special attack is also not much to sneeze at. At 110, it's pretty high. In fact, it's barely higher than Charizard and Typhlosion. Unfortunately, there are some drawbacks. First of all, defenses, not so good. This wouldn't be a problem, well, if its speed were good, but its speed, not so good either. Now, it has some strong attacks, but it's just one of those Pokemon that could never really gets the chance to fire them off. Even with something like a Focus Sash, it only really has 1 or 2 chances to attack before it's dead, and that's just not very good at all. And now we come to Infernape, that pissed off monkey from the 4th generation. Now you might be asking yourself, why is this Pokemon one of the most frequently overused Pokemon in the entire OU metagame? Why is this Pokemon possibly the most popular out of all the starter Pokemon for the fighting scene? Well, I'll tell you why. Pretty good attack, pretty good special attack, great speed, and great moves. Not only does it have the ability to really launch both its attack and its special attack into the stratosphere, it has powerful moves in its own right. Close combat is practically its signature move. It can learn things like Flamethrower and Fire Blast, Flare Blitz, Grass Knot, very powerful things. A lot of people make this Pokemon a sweeper, but a mixed sweeper. It can use powerful physical moves and powerful special moves. It's just a very powerful Pokemon all around. It has the stats in just the right places and just the right moves to make it a great Pokemon for any fighting team. Alright, so what's it gonna be? You've got the nostalgic flexibility of Charizard, the sleekness and special move of Typhlosion, the raw statistical attack power of Blaziken, and the kick-ass moves of Infernape. So what's it gonna be? I'm gonna have to go with Charizard. There's something just cool about that dragon. Do I want him to be a special sweeper? Great! Do I want him to do belly drum and kick a bunch of ass and clear the whole team? Great! Do I want him to be a pseudo dragon thing? Great! Do I want him to thunder punch? Great! He can do a lot of things. I'm gonna go with Charizard. It's all about the nostalgia, baby. Come back next time and I'll choose your Pokemon.